This is Wade with High Tech Legion, and this is the Lian Li PC-7HX mid-tower computer case. Now this case is made out of all aluminum, so it's very light. It weighs in at only 5.8 kilograms or roughly 12.7 pounds. And as you can see from the front, we've got a brushed aluminum finish, which is nice. It's hard to scratch. It's fingerprint resistant, or if you do get fingerprints on it, they clean off really easy. And it has a very basic styling, which is great for somebody who's a modder or somebody who's looking for something that's not going to stick out in their room. On the front, we've got three 5¼ inch external drive bays, as well as some mesh, which houses two 140mm cooling fans behind it. And in the top right corner, we've got our power indicator and our hard drive indicator lights, which are very small, so they won't be super noticeable. On the side panel, they've carried the sturdy aluminum construction through. We've got some mesh here to let some cool air into the case. On the rear, we have our bottom mount power supply area, 8 expansion slots which have a vented bracket, 2 water cooling holes, a 120mm exhaust fan, motherboard I/O area, and the side panels are held on with thumb screws. On the top, we have our power button, reset button, and hidden I/O area with 2 USB 3.0 ports, a headphone jack, microphone jack, and an area here where 2 120mm fans can be mounted on the outside of the case. Lian Li does offer an accessory separately that can be mounted to cover up those fans. On the bottom, we've got some heavy-duty rubber feet, as well as a filter to cover up the power supply intake area that is easily removed and replaced. Moving on to the interior of the case, we can see that Lian Li carried the black coloring through on this model. We have our hard drive cage here, which is removable with 2 screws, supporting 4 3.5 inch drives as well as a 2.5 inch drive. Up top here we have 3 5¼ inch drive bays, 2 of which are toolless. And on the motherboard tray, we've got some holes here for cable management, as well as a large CPU cooler hole, and our motherboard standoffs are already in place. On the bottom, we have vented area for power supply to draw in air, and where it mounts has some rubber feet so to reduce the vibration of the power supply and help keep it as silent as possible. All the expansion slots are held in place with thumb screws, and we can see we have our 120mm fan here, as well as our 2 140mm fans in the front here. Here we've got connections for HD audio and USB 3.0, as well as the connections for our power switch, reset switch, and LEDs. The fan do take Molex connectors or a 3-pin connection on the motherboard. On the opposite side of the case here in the interior, we can see the cable management holes a little bit better, as well as our large CPU cutout. We've got a minimal amount of cabling that's pre-installed by Lian Li, which will assist in keeping everything neat and tidy. And we have access to the back of the hard drive cage here. There is some space behind the motherboard tray here for cable management. And we also have some accessories that they include: a USB 3.0 header conversion to USB 2.0 in case your motherboard does not support USB 3. We have 4 rubber screw hole fillers for the top of the case if you are not using the fan cover case accessory on the top. We have a motherboard speaker, as well as rubber grommets for our hard drive mounting, and a lock that can be mounted on the back of the case, along with various screws for our devices and motherboard. And a very detailed manual about installation of each component in multiple languages that's included. This has been the overview of the Lian Li PC-7HX case. I hope you enjoyed. For the full review, please see www.hightechlegion.com.